So we covered a lot of this stuff. Now we're gonna look at like a few other options, because the main thing with De La Riva is not the leg. The leg is very easy to deal with. It's not difficult at all. It's when they have a really strong grip on the pants here that it becomes very tricky, because this stops me from doing a lot of different stuff. We talked about like knee cutting against this and the various options, but there's a few things we can do that are a little different that kind of put your opponent in a weird position. So breaking that grip, the easiest way is using that shin slice across, because when I drop my weight, it just puts a ton of pressure on his fingers and he's not really able to hold on. It can be much more difficult to try and like kick your foot out of it. If he's grabbing around my ankle like this, it's very easy to just do the soccer ball maneuver and it just kind of unwinds his hand. But that doesn't work when he has the grip itself. This can be very, very difficult. And it's hard to break this grip as well, because if I pull here, that doesn't really help me. If I grab like this, it's very difficult to break. There are a few ways to do it, but the main one is just that shin cut across. However, there are some other options. So instead of like going for conventional passes, we can take advantage of the fact that his arm is underneath his leg. So hold on tight, Chris. If his arm is underneath his leg here, there's a weird thing I can do. And what that is by grabbing his sleeve like this. By grabbing his sleeve like this, it kind of kills his ability to put the De La Riva hook in, right? Because if he tries to put the hook in, I just kind of flare my elbow and it breaks. Now, he's holding my ankle, but if you look, it doesn't really control where my foot goes past like the center point here. It's more just like forward and back, and it's just kind of there to anchor himself to me. But I still have some mobility left and right. So what I'm gonna do is when he grabs my pants, I grab his sleeve, and that's gonna help me kill the De La Riva hook. And then I'm gonna try and step over this ankle. That's my next goal. So if he's pushing on my leg or doing something like this, I need to control the ankle and step over it, here. Now the trick next is to get him to face me. I want him on this hip, okay? If he stays this way, it's not gonna work. Any sort of pass I do to this side, he's gonna be able to put his hand in my collar and block me from doing these different movements. So I need to step and make him face me a little bit. And this is where he starts getting in trouble. Because he didn't let go of my pants, now if he lets go and tries to get his arm back, he can't. It's kind of stuck, right? Because of his leg here locking this in place. So what this does, if I try and do a pass to this side now, he can only block with one hand. Like this is his framing hand now. And one hand is a lot easier to deal with than two hands, right? If I do a pass and he has both hands, it's gonna be much harder than if he only has one hand. So this grip is effectively controlling in the same way that a pants grip would, right? So maybe if I try and do a long step or a knee cut, I could do it with this hand, but then his hand's free to push and do stuff, right? So I'm just replacing this grip with this grip, but it serves the same purpose. So I can do the same moves. I can do a long step, I can do a knee cut, I can do over under, but I'm just controlling his wrist instead. So I've taken his arm out of the battle. And when I settle into this position, he's gonna start to realize like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have let this happen. And the key here is just to keep my elbow kind of tight so he can't bring the leg in front and through. That would untie it. So I want to have my elbow a little bit low like this. And then we're just going to start with a very basic pass. We're just going to do a long step. And so he can hold on to my leg. He can hold on to the pants grip. But once I'm here, I don't necessarily have to bring my leg with me. I'm just going to go long step positioning. So I bring my hand around his back. This is going to look like a long step here. And the only reason I can do this is because I pulled him to his left side. I'm gonna go like this. He's gonna have to think like, how do I maintain a frame, right? But if he only has one arm, it's very difficult for him to push me off or keep me away at all. And I can put a lot of pressure and start dropping to my hip. And then this is like a super slow-mo long step, right? Because he has my leg still. But I get a nice and deep grip around his back, and I like to grab the material here, and I put good shoulder pressure. And this is where he starts to think like, I need my hand back. And as he tries to bring his hand back, if he holds the pants, his hand won't go back. So he has to let go at some point, like this. But now when he tries to pull the hand, I just don't let go. And then I can use that to kind of keep his legs open as I finish my long step. Now, if he were to just be super stubborn and hold on to my pants the whole time, like this, it's not the end of the world, because I can still be driving my knee across here, like this. So I don't even have to long step. I can just point my knee down here and start bringing my leg out. And it's very difficult for him to close a half guard around this that's effective when I do this, because his hand's in the way. So I can kind of create like a Gustavo Batista or Jacob Kusama style knee cut to clear that position anyways. And it only works because of his hand positioning. If I don't do that and he gets that grip here, he gets the grip, and I just control the pants and I do the exact same thing, when I go to long step, he can use both hands and this hand will come over to my face immediately and start cross-facing me, and my long step is gonna push me off, okay? So go ahead and put your head that way again. So there's a lot of things we can do with this hand grip, but we're gonna start with just this one. So, De La Riva, like this. I reach my hand inside, grab his sleeve, and then put tension on it, bringing my hand up to his knee. Step back like I'm stepping this way just to clear the foot. Bring my foot to the other side of his butt so he starts turning towards me, making sure that he can't get his foot back. I kind of keep my elbow engaged. And it doesn't matter what this hand's doing now because he only has one hand. I just go for it. I don't care if it's in the way. I don't care if it's like pushing on my face. I just start putting pressure. Now this isn't a fast pass because once I get this back grip and I secure my hands, I really grab the material here. If you see that, I'm not just putting my hand flat. I'm grabbing the material to anchor myself to him like this. And I have two options. I can drop my hip and start trying to pull this way to clear that grip, which will work because it's pretty tricky for him to hang on to this grip here, especially if I'm using my other leg to kind of open this leg. At this point, I can just kind of donkey kick and he's not going to be able to do anything. And I still maintain this. So now even if he tries to bring his knees in to recover like this, I can just keep moving around because there's no ability for him to frame with both hands. I can bring him down. If you're having trouble with that, and you're unable to drop to this hip, we keep all the same grips and I just bring my knee down and I start trying to slide my ankle across here. And then we're past anyways, even if he has that grip still. And at this point, you can kind of just come up over the top to pass. So that's a little tricky. That's something that I started doing against Connor, mainly. It was really good against Connor. So let's give that one a shot, control that, and try and step in. Is there any questions about that? The main thing is just getting his hips to face the opposite direction so there's a clear path for your hand. The rest will kind of fall into place as long as you're holding that pants grip, okay? All right, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, just as deep as you can get, but it's not a quick move because it doesn't have to be quick because he can't push you off this time. So you just take your time to put that shoulder pressure nice and deep, and then from here you decide if you can kick your leg out, great. If you can break it that way, good. If not, you have to do the knee cut style, which is where if he grabs, you bring your knee down to the mat instead, sliding it across that way, exactly. Yep. Step back to step over. And then as you step over, you don't go to headquarters, you're actually gonna bring your right foot across to this side. So keep holding on to him, but you're gonna step this foot across a little bit more. No, this foot, yeah. That one stepped, yes, exactly. So now it lifts her so that her back is exposed, and then she's only able to block you off with one hand. And so now you just go right past her hand, it doesn't really matter, you're just getting the deep grip there, locking it in. And then from here, you can just free your leg and just back step like that. Or if she manages to hang on, which some people will, you turn it into the knee cut.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, from there, it's like, you're just past at that point.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even know what my question is.
I guess I don't really feel trouble.
Yep. Yeah, this is fine. From here, you're past. So at this point, you can just let go of her sleeve and pass her guard. Like you're past her leg now. You know, you're just past at that point.
There's like different passes you can do
There's,
too, right?
yeah, there's a lot of different ones. From there, it's like you can knee cut or you can just back step. But it's really just about breaking her grip, or if she maintains it, you knee cut and then you just like switch to an underhook or something because you're already past her guard. Yeah. Does that feel like a strong break from there when he kicks his leg back?
Yeah, I definitely can't hold on.
Yeah.
Good.
Good. No, over his shin more, yeah. And you don't want to wait here. You want to, once you get the sleeve, you want to immediately step to the other side, bring your right foot across and turning him. So now he can't free that leg at all. Yeah. Once you put him on this side, his leg's kind of stuck. He can't like bring it back in front. If you stay here, he could open it. Yeah, exactly.